Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you've seen by the title, today's video is all about the books that I've bought this year and did I read them all? And no, she didn't. Spoiler alert. So I thought if I actually went through every single book that I bought this year, that would be a really long video and kind of a waste of time because there are so many haul videos on my channel as it is. So you know I've bought a whole bunch of books, but the question really that we need to answer is, did I read them all? No. So I'm going to go through the books that I haven't read, haven't picked up, haven't even attempted. The only books that are not included in this are the books that I have read, the books that I have DNF'd, and the books that I bought last week because really, I haven't even updated my spreadsheet yet, so they're not on it. But other than that, all the books that I have bought this year are in this box that is too heavy to lift. Just some free advertising there, Gardeners, you're welcome. Obviously I didn't buy them all from Gardeners. Most of them I didn't buy from Gardeners because I only had a Gardeners account for a little while. But yeah, so I'm going to go through all the books that I haven't yet read, why I haven't yet read them, and do I plan to read them in the future? Can I even remember why I bought these books? Because if the answer is no, why am I keeping them? So many questions, so little time. Anyway, so we'll just start with any of them, whichever ones I can find first. Let's start with Dark Dawn. So Dark Dawn obviously is the third in the Nevernight series. I've only recently bought this. I bought this in November. I have been looking for a charity shop copy, but obviously I think this is a 2020 release. Yeah, so finding that has proven very tricky, but I didn't want to spend full cost on it. Having seen all the stuff that Jay Kristoff has been up to this year, and how rude he's been to people, I didn't really want to give him my money. And I know that he's still going to get paid for this because I bought this through the distributor, but I didn't pay full price for it. But I also only bought it a month ago, so I haven't quite got around to it yet. Emotionally, I'm not ready yet. I still haven't decided if I want to continue with this series purely based on his behaviour, and that is my opinion. Like, I think his writing is good, but is it good enough to ignore what a shitty person he's been this year? I don't know. I'm not like advocating we cancel him or anything like that. I just think he needs to be held accountable. Yeah, like I said, I just don't know where I am with him yet. This person that I've never met, whose writing I kind of enjoy. If I read it and then have it in a wrap up and a review and things like that, then am I endorsing reading the writing of someone who has been increasingly rude to people in the industry, missing the point when people have called him out on Twitter and things like that? I don't know if I want to endorse that. So I want to keep this short and sweet. No, I haven't read this yet. I might. Now that I have it, I probably should, but emotionally I'm not there yet. The Deathless Girls. This is one of the books that I bought after my 100-day book buying ban. I am really excited to get to it, I just haven't got to it yet. Same with Legendborn. Legendborn I hadn't got to yet because I've had it less than a month, but it has already come up in my Top Trumps TBR, so I should be reading this for December. I don't know a lot about it, I've just heard really good things, but this is a relatively new release. Wizards of Once I specifically bought for Readathon and then didn't get to, unfortunately. I did a lot of audiobooks in November and didn't really pick up any of the paperbacks that I had, so I will get to this one eventually. I'm going to try and read it again in December. I will get to it. I am excited for this one. Let's mix it up a little bit. So Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I bought this and No Country for Old Men from a charity shop for £1 each because people keep telling me that I need to read Cormac McCarthy, that he's a fantastic writer. And No Country for Old Men is a thing that exists. I'm not really enjoying it. I can appreciate the literary merit of it. I can see why people like it so much. But I am very much a character-driven reader and I really struggle with the fact that 80% of his writing is just lists of actions, and it also feels very overtly masculine in the fact that he will barely... I don't know, in No Country for Old Men, I don't know what the wife looks like, but I know what kind of guns her husband uses because he goes into detail more about that than he does about her physical appearance, and I just find that really bizarre and quite jarring. So I'm not as excited for The Road, but I will give it a go because, like I said, I bought it for £1, I'm gonna make the most of it. So I pre-ordered Serpentine. I will be reading this in December because it is a cute little polar read. I'm going to be reading this for Polathon. I'm really excited for this one, and I pre-order everything that Philip Pullman comes out with. Middle Game. So this was talked about a lot at the beginning of the year and the end of last year. I know that this is a favourite of quite a few of my favourites, and a lot of my friends really enjoy this. I just haven't got around to it yet. Pet is another new release. This is about a young girl who goes into people's houses to get rid of their monsters. I've heard some really great things about this writer and I'm really excited for this, but again, I only bought it last month. Essentially what happens, what you'll notice is a running theme with this video is there are loads of books that I bought before my 100 days buying ban, and there's loads of books that I bought after my 100 days buying ban. And if it's an after my 100 days buying ban, I just haven't got to it yet because I bought so many that I didn't really know where to start. And unfortunately this one got put on the back burner because I didn't know where to start. So we'll read this one, haven't got to it yet. Take a hint, Danny Brown I have had for a month. I've only finished To Get a Life Chloe Brown in October, so I bought this one straight afterwards. I'm really excited for it, I just haven't got to it yet. Get a Life Chloe Brown made me snort laugh. Like to the point where I was embarrassed to be around other people whilst I was reading it. One book that I haven't actually mentioned in any of my hauls because I bought this kind of in between hauls is Morning Mascara. This is an autobiography of the England captain, or ex-England captain, Catherine. I forgot your name then. We're mates. I've got her phone number, but I forgot her name was Spencer. That's so stupid. So, Morning Mascara by Catherine Spencer. This is her autobiography of her life as a rugby player. As someone who is an ex-rugby player myself, not nearly to the same league. I only played for South East of England as opposed to, you know, the actual country. But yeah, really excited to read this. It's going to be interesting because, yeah, I'm going to know some of the people in this book. I'm really excited to get this. I'm really sorry that I haven't got to it yet. I really should prioritise this, but I'm excited. The Monsters of Rookhaven, again, I bought this after my 100-day book buying ban because I kept seeing Gavin talking about it, and every time he brought it up, I just saw those gothic-y vibes. I saw how excited he was for it, and I just couldn't resist. I recently bought the King of How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. So this is a week old. I know I said I wasn't going to include any of the ones that I've recently bought, but I am really excited for this one, and it will inevitably get prioritised over some of the others that I haven't yet read. It's illustrated. Some of the illustrations are absolutely stunning. Am I considering getting this tattooed on my arm? Yes, I am. Really excited for this one. I'm not going to be able to lift these at the end. I'm just going to have to pick a few and go with that. Obviously I bought Pine from a charity shop. I am still excited for this one. I think this is a 2020 release as well. Haven't got to it yet. I'm just going to do these two together because they are, again, the same as the others. Bought these like a month ago. Haven't quite got them. I bought these for Readathon, and again, didn't quite get to them. So we have Arrowshire and the End of Time and The Trials of Apollo by Rick Royden. Really excited for both of those. They are both on my December TBR. I just haven't got there yet. Okay, so now we're actually getting to the ones that were kind of before the book buying ban that I bought months ago, back in January and so on, and haven't read yet. These are the ones I'm actually embarrassed about because I haven't read yet, as opposed to those which I'm like, oh, I haven't got to them yet, but I've only had them for like a month. These are older. These are... It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. So I bought Traitor's Blade back in April. Was the Magical Readathon in April? I can't remember, but I saw that it was on JD Ray Reads' TBR. I got really excited because I was stealing from everyone's TBR, and I guarantee there will be a readathon in 2020 where I still pick from people's TBR again, because that was a really fun way to kind of find a book that I'd never read before or never heard of before and pick it up. Bought it for that, didn't get to it, haven't picked it up since. Don't know what it's about. I just know that it's Sebastian de Castell and JD Ray Reads really enjoys his writing. Am I still hyped for it? I don't know. It's a whole series, so it's a big commitment. That's how I feel about it. Caraval, I bought from a charity shop. I've heard really good things. I've heard really bad things. I'm not as excited for it as I was when I bought it in January, but it's a thing that I own. Duckett and Dyer, Dicks for Hire. This is a mystery. This is a mystery novel, self-published, which I was really excited for when I bought it and then just haven't picked it up. When I actually get off my arse and start reading some more independent writers, this is going to be the first one on my list. I pre-ordered Court of Miracles and then never read it. So whenever this came out, that's how long I've had this and just not picked it up. Six of Crows was one of the first books that I bought this year. Didn't read it because I then found out after buying it that it's technically the fourth book in the Grishaverse, because you've got the whole Shadow and Bone series before that, and I had Shadow of Bone already because that had been bought for me as a gift. Didn't realise that you needed to read one before the other. I think you can read this separately, like this series you can read separately, but since then more books of the series have come out anyway, so that's a good thing, I guess. Again, massive commitments, I haven't quite picked it up yet. I read Ninth House when that came out, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy her Shadow and Bone series as much, so again, it feels like a bigger commitment because I'm not as enamoured with her writing as I thought I would be in that instance. So we shall see if I love this. I know it's being turned into a series and everyone's really, like TV series, and everyone's really excited for it. So there must be something good in this. I am excited, I'm just not as hyped as I was when I first bought it. I bought a copy of Inspector Calls because I thought I would have more opportunities to tutor, and then we had COVID and my tutoring opportunities kind of disappeared. So I just have a copy of a play that I've already read. Yep, that's something I have. Cold Blood is a book that was written by my university lecturer. It is, I think, autobiographical and looks at Richard Kerridge's life as a young man and as a boy, kind of learning about how nature around him works and lizards. And I know that when he told us about this book in class, he was telling us all about how his daughters aren't really interested in lizards, so writing this was quite cathartic for him because it meant that he was actually able to explore that again. So I am really excited about this. I do want to do an entire series next year where I read all of the books written by my lecturers to see if any of the lessons that they taught me are actually in this, or did they just make it up? Cinderellas Dead is another one that I missed from the earlier pile, which is I only bought this recently, but I'm really excited to read it. The Night Country. This is the second in a duology by Melissa Albert. At least I think it's a duology. I don't know if she's got any plans for another book to come out, but I really enjoyed The Hazelwood. That was my get out of a reading slump book for 2019, which is why I only read like 22 books in 2019, but it got me out and it got me reading and it was what I wanted. So I immediately bought this one when I saw it in Waterstones. Trying to find it was an absolute pain in the butt, but I then got it and then didn't read it. So after all that effort, didn't read it. It's got these really gorgeous like bluey green sprayed edges. I am really excited for it. I really enjoy Melissa Albert's style of writing. I just haven't got to it yet. I don't know why I feel the need to wrap up every single book with I haven't got to it yet. Obviously I haven't got to it yet. That's what this video is about, Hannah. Still hyped for this one is what I'm trying to say. Blue Bloods. I could not be less interested in this if I tried. This was on my Gothtober TBR as my oldest purchase. This is the very, very first, I know it's the very, very first book I bought in January, and I don't want to read it. I keep almost putting it in TBRs and almost using it for prompts, and then I don't read it, and I have almost no interest in reading this. But I feel like I should because I bought it. The Last Day is a sci-fi that I pre-ordered. Was really excited to get my hands on this and then didn't read it. I've spilt tea on it already, even though I haven't read it, so that's embarrassing. Lady Mary by Lucy Worsley. Again, I was really excited when I first bought this. I'm less excited for it now for no other reason than I keep putting it on TBRs and then not picking it up. And it just gets to a point where I just lose interest if I see something too much or I feel the pressure of it. I just, being the commitment phobe that I am, I'm like, dead to me. So we're not at the dead to me stage yet, but I don't care about it as much as I did when I bought it. That's an issue. Moxie, I lost interest in pretty much the moment it came through my letterbox. I was really excited to have it on my Top Trumps TBR. I was really excited to start reading it. I ordered it, it arrived, it went on a shelf, and I haven't picked it up since. I don't want to read it. I've got no reason not wanting to read it, I just don't want to read it. The Turn of the Screw I've picked up twice. The first time because Ashley over at Frolic Through Fiction told me that she wrote her dissertation on it and that I should read it so we could discuss some stuff because I had some questions for her, and then I just didn't finish it. And then the second time for Gothtober I started again from the beginning, didn't finish it, just had some books on my Gothtober TBR that I really wanted to get to, and this just didn't make the cut. I am really excited for this one, I just haven't prioritised it, because this is one of those ones where it's going to take me twice as long to read it because it's so dense, and just to kind of break through that comprehension level that I know is going to take me time to understand, and I'm going to want to annotate it, and I'm going to want to actually formulate my ideas on it as opposed to just sit and enjoy it. It's going to take me twice as long, and I couldn't be asked. It's got those gothic vibes that I absolutely love. Haven't got there yet. And the last one is Josephine Angelini's What She Found in the Woods. I am certainly more excited for this than I am for other books that I own, so we will get there. We'll get there. But I just haven't got there yet. So yeah, those are all the books that I bought this year and didn't read. There are a lot more than I'd like to admit. Let me know in the comments below what books you've bought and not read. I hope you have as many as me, and have a nice day.